May seem silly me getting rid of those at the moment, but we can always come back and get more. That's terrible, isn't it? But we can always come back and get more. What I do want to do is get close to one of their settlements, see if these ballistas have been implemented yet, and see, I guess, test what kind of damage they do by getting myself a bit too close to them, or getting the vehicle a bit too close to them. Once I've done that, I'm going to head out on a slaughter rampage of the Talon Nation. G'day people, I'm Monstad and welcome back to our 9.2 experimental playthrough. Bob's still hiding over there. Bless him. He's feeling shy now, obviously. So, the bug with the portable constructors has been fixed, so it can continue. I don't really need those on me. I'm just going to leave these cargo extensions on there. Might as well pop that in there. I think I've got enough everything. I'll take a little bit more fuel. Should be good. So today, let's get rid of those as well. Don't need to take junk with me. We are going to neutralise the Zirax threat. With this grinder. Now, a couple of people have guessed how I'm going to do that. Basically, I'm going to go to war with the Talon. Because, as far as I'm concerned, they... Oh, I've still got this full of stuff from that last test I did. Let me just get rid of all this. Sorry, bear with me a moment. Yeah, as far as I can tell, they don't really provide much of useful of anything. There we go. That should do it. I should have enough fuel in here. Also, I know a couple of people point out that this particular HV is quite unbalanced with regards to weight distribution. I'm aware of that. I have built a couple of things in creative, test them in survival games that are way more balanced than this. The bigger hover thrusters, you know, the hover engines, sorry, excuse me, fare much better than these smaller ones in carrying heavy loads. The thrust on them, I find, is the biggest issue, and that's the biggest issue I've got with them. Regardless of how balanced it is, moving the actual thing when it's full is the biggest problem. But yeah, we'll find a way. I've got a few ideas up my sleeve, but we'll find a way. So I marked a little spot here. So basically the plan is to put into cruise mode. So you press W to go forward, then push the shift key down, release W, then release the shift key, and you're in cruise mode. That's a little new feature, that's quite cool. Excuse me. So, yeah, a couple of people have guessed, you know, kill Talons, and in fact, if I stop that and we go into our relations menu, Zirax at the moment we're on friendly, unfriendly or lower. You will be shot by their turrets. If you present yourself in front of their troops, they will try and kill you. And that's the same with any of them, Zirax, Talon or Polaris. Now, as far as I'm aware, killing Talon do not reduce your Polaris standing. It should say on the right here if it does. So it's plus 50 if you kill some Zirax. But I'm pretty sure killing Talon doesn't make the slightest bit of difference to it. So our Polaris standing should not go down, which is fine. Obviously our Talon standing will go to hostile because we'll be at war with them, but for the Zirax you get 250 points for killing a Talon. Sorry, 250 if killed Zirax. Where is it? It's on there somewhere. Yeah, destroying Talon blocks plus 50. Yeah, I can't see it on there, but it is. You get about 250 experience, or sorry, relation points for killing Talon. And as far as I can tell, the Talon, you know, they have some traders. There's not a lot you can trade with them that you can't get from the natural environment around you without any real trouble whatsoever. So I found that they're not much use. So in this world of faction relations, we just can't be friends with everybody. I'm afraid that's just the way life is. We just cannot be friends with everyone. Someone has to suffer. Talon are the easiest targets. Excuse me. I know it's cruel, ruthless, but you know, it's a ruthless world we live in Empyrion. So I'm going to head into Talon territory. You can see the new crossbow ones as well once we get in there. So we're in Talon, so we've got a neutral at the moment. So I'm going to head towards their main settlements. Now I don't know if the ballista devices have been added or not as yet. If they have, I need to be a little bit careful. I don't know what level of damage they do. But within Talon territory, you usually find an absolute ton of Talon soldiers wandering around. He says, not seeing a single soul anywhere. We'll get a bit closer to one of their settlements and we should be able to find some. And basically what I will do is I will grind them with the grinder. I will carefully try and collect some of the more choice stuff from them, some food, some bandages. But I've got to be very careful getting out. Getting out of the vehicle now, because they have the crossbows, and if there's some more nearby that I haven't spotted, they will shoot me once we get to unfriendly, which will happen fairly quickly. So let me just demonstrate. If you look down the bottom left, that grinder sounds really loud. Sorry if it's really loud, but if you look down the bottom left, you'll see the faction relations changing as I do the dirty deed. So there's the crossbow soldier. They look pretty cool actually. So as he died, it was minus 999 to Talon, plus 250 for Zirax. Why am I doing this? Well, it's not because I particularly want to be friends with the Zirax. It's once I get to a friendly status, or neutral status with the Zirax in fact, I can pass through their territory unhindered. I can fly past their bases. I can, and more important than that, outside of their territory, I can dig resources, loot wrecks under the gaze of their drones without them shooting at me. And that's probably the biggest reason I'm doing it. Plus I won't get drone attacks either. Now I know drone attacks are useful in that you can get some good resources. I'm going to get rid of these spiders. No, I won't bother. In that you can get some good resources from the drones, like flux coils in particular. You need those like for the advanced constructor. But at this moment in time, what I prefer, I think it's more valuable to have that peace of mind of being able to gather resources, traverse the map, totally unhindered by their drones. Now I've got to be careful in case I get shot at, in case there's any I didn't see. Now if I kill those spiders, because we're in Talon territory, my reputation with Talon will start actually going up, because if you kill predators within another nation's territory, your standing does increase. But, you know, I may kill some predators if I need to, but... So what do we get from them? So I'm not going to bother with all this stuff, all the sprouts at the moment. May seem silly me getting rid of those at the moment, but we can always come back and get more. That's terrible, isn't it? But we can always come back and get more. What I do want to do is get close to one of their settlements and see if these ballistas have been implemented yet, and see, I guess, test what kind of damage they do by getting myself a bit too close to them, or getting the vehicle a bit too close to them. Once I've done that, I'm going to head out on a slaughter rampage of the Talon Nation, go to war with them until I've got my reputation with the I know there's some that I can come back for them, until I've got my reputation with the Zirax up to a point where I can freely move around the world, loot wrecks, mine resources outside of their territory without being hindered by their drones. So that's my main objective. So there's the monument over there, so that means there's usually some settlements around that monument. So we are unfriendly with them now, so if they have instigated the blisters, they will start shooting at me. But it doesn't... No, it doesn't look like they have. Well, that's a shame. I would have liked to have seen what they were like. I mean, you can trade with these, you know, there's a trader inside these main buildings in these. But, you know, when I've looked at it, there's not a huge amount of useful stuff that you can trade. I guess probably the most useful thing you can do with these is sell your stuff to get money so that you can trade with the Polaris for better stuff. Because the Polaris own all the trading stations as well, even the ones in space. And I made the mistake once of entering one of the space stations while I was unfriendly with the Polaris, and one of their citizens pulled out a laser pistol and shot my head off. Clean off. I can tell you, clean off. And I was dead pretty quickly. So I'm going to get on with this, so I'll make a cut there and I'll get back to you when I'm done. Later. Okay, welcome back. So, yeah, this is the killing field. Very ominous as well. You've got radiated fog, thunder and lightning. Very apt. So, I forgot to mention as well, of course, the experience that you get from it as well. I did decide to keep some of this stuff actually in the end. Tons of bandages. Topped up the food and got a lot of other stuff. 41 plant protein. Nice. Yeah, experience. So I'm up to level 12 now, and I'm now friendly with the Zirax. My Polaris reputation hasn't dropped at all through those actions, so that just shows that doesn't happen. Yeah, I kind of feel sorry for them, but it's a means to an end. The end being I can now freely traverse around this map. So my next mission will be to head to Polaris territory and get my reputation up to friendly, if I can. And the only way to do that really is by killing, well, the easiest and quickest way to do it is by killing predators within their territory. Sounds simple, but in actual fact, on the planet like this, there aren't that many. Yeah, you know, you can find groups of spiders occasionally. They don't give you a huge amount of experience gained with them. If it's night time, you'll occasionally find some night raptors, which are pretty useful. But I found the fastest method is to try and locate some savanna territory savanna biome in their territory. Might as well grab the wood anyway as we're going through here, since the trees are in the way. Sorry, what was I saying? Yeah, locate a savanna biome if possible within the Polaris territory, because on the savanna biome, whether it's day or night, you will get huge groups of raptors, which are predators, and although they don't give you a lot of experience each, there's always a ton of them together. So it's a really fast way to get your experience, or sorry, not your experience, you get your reputation level up with the Polaris. Or any faction really. I mean, I could go back to, now that I'm friendly with the Zirax and they're no longer a problem, I could go back to Talon territory and kill predators until I became neutral or friendly with them again. And then I'd be fine with every nation. But personally I don't think it's worth the time doing that, because the Talon aren't really much of a threat when you're in a vehicle. We'll see what it's like once they get excuse me, their ballistas. But yeah, I suppose if there are resources in their territory you want to get without any issues or without any trouble, you could try and get your rep back up with them. But I haven't found the need to do that yet. Of course, get to Honoured with the Zirax. I think it's Honoured, and I believe that's the point where you can mine resource nodes from their territory with no reputation hit whatsoever, which will obviously be useful because quite often you'll find the Promethean deposits within the radiated zones in Zirax territory. Also find you get a lot of Promethean deposits in the Polaris territory as well. But the easiest thing with that, get an SV, get up to space, locate a Promethean asteroid, there's usually one around the starter planet, and do your Promethean mining and your cobalt mining from there. As long as you've got an EVA boost. I don't have an EVA boost yet. I still need to find a gold field. I need to keep an eye out for that. Or did I find one? I can't remember. I don't think I did. Usually we would loot POIs. Oh, we got some Talon around here as well, have we? We'll ignore those. We don't need to kill anymore. I'm not going to kill them just for the sake of it. We just don't need to now. So we're in Polaris territory now. We are neutral with them, so their bases won't fire upon us. Now, what have we got? It doesn't look like we're going to find much in the way of Savannah territory. That looks like the most likely spot. That might be a bit too far north though. Let's head towards these contacts and see what we can see. Let's see, Promethean deposit. So we should be okay to go past these places. I noticed the lag is less now around the Polaris territory or Polaris settlements than it used to be when it was first instigated. What have we got? Residences. No, there are no. I don't think there are any traders in the residences. Gas refinery. I'm not sure what. I don't think there's a trader in there. You can usually find at least one trader for mining stuff. You know, like the mine resources or farm. That's nice. Get a couple of good traders in the farm. Warehouse. Don't think I've been in one of those. I'm not going to look around these places right now. What I want to do is try and get our rep up. Doesn't look like we're going to find Savannah. I wonder if we can find some arachnids in the cold zone. They've definitely nerfed the number of arachnids you can find in this snowy biome on the border of the poles. But they would be a really good source of increasing our rep with the Polaris. So if we can get it to friendly, we can trade with them. Yeah, I've always found a real problem trying to find predators within their territory on these planets. On the snowy planets, I've found the ice golems don't register predators as yet when you kill those inside Polaris territory. The arachnids did, but the golems didn't, which is a real shame because you get so much experience for those, and it's a kind of calculated on the proportion of experience. Proportion of experience you get, or the amount of damage you do to the predators, and of course the higher level the predator, the more damage it'll take before it dies. So therefore, the more experience you'll get, or more reputation gain, I should say. I keep saying experience, I mean reputation gain. Do you have any arachnids in here at all? Give me something. Because this Polaris territory looks like it's going to be too far north for a decent savannah. Could get one down there. Otherwise, it's a case of going around at night and hoping you'll find some night raptors or some plasma bugs, or just hunt down spiders, and you can never find them when you want them. They're such a pain. And you don't want them, like when you land straight away in a game. They're swarming all over you. When you do want them, oh, that sounds like a night raptor. Where was he? I can hear him. I can't see him. There he is. They've got really weird behaviour at the moment as well, the raptors. Some of them actually lie down as well. Where'd the other one go? Hiding in the bushes. Can't hide from me. Okay, so Polaris rep went up a decent amount. Yeah, we're not too far off being friendly with them. So what I'll do is I'll cut there and I'm going to try and hunt down some predators. And I'll get back to you when I'm at the friendly status with the Polaris. So I'll see you in a little while. Later. Okay, welcome back. I'll give up. I cannot find any predators. Apart from those two night raptors, I've been flying around for what, 10 minutes? Couldn't find a thing. Went through the forests, couldn't find any plasma bugs. You know, and they're always around, aren't they, when you don't want them? You can't kill these prey because otherwise your rep goes down. But, yeah. Oh, is that some raptors? Oh, at last. Let's dispose of these bad boys. Get off my windscreen. Okay. Yeah, we're getting there, but I'm yeah, not much more would do it, but I can't bother to look for them at the moment. Anyway, well, that's the way to do it. I mean, once we get to friendly, we can trade with them. And you could go back to Talon territory and do the same with them if you wanted to, if you felt you needed to trade with them. But the key thing now is that I can freely traverse the entire map, get some exploring done, locate the things I need to locate, and anything with Zirax drones covering it is not going to be an issue at all. Which is good, you know what I mean? I think it is anyway. It's not a pleasant way to get to that, having to slaughter tens of Talon soldiers to get there, but you know. Got to be ruthless sometimes to look after ourselves. So my objective now will be to actually concentrate on getting some resources and building up my base. I can now power the base perfectly safely without any worry of drone attacks. If I did feel I wanted to get some, if I was in, once I get some decent defense around my base and I feel that I can handle the drones when they come in and I feel I want the resources from them, I can just drop my reputation with the Zirax easily enough. I can go into their territory. There's always loads of Zirax soldiers walking around, and I can just attack the Zirax soldiers to get my rep down, and then the drone attack should start, although I haven't tested that. Will the drone attacks start once you drop your... Look, plasma bugs. I was looking for plasma bugs everywhere. Couldn't find any. Yeah, I haven't tested that though. That's my theory, is that if you've got a friendly status with the Zirax when you power your base, you won't get drone attacks obviously, but if you become unfriendly or hostile with them, do the drone attacks actually resume? I don't know. I think we'll have to test that at some point. But in the meantime, that's the plan. So, bit of exploration next. Locate resource deposits. Try and locate... Well, I have to locate one of the gold fields because I need some gold to make an EVA boost. Because it's very difficult to get hold of them now. Used to be fairly easy because we could loot so many places, but not quite as much now. There we go. And we're home. Might as well sleep away the night. Whee! Bob's still over there. He's having a swim now, look. Oh, hopefully he's having a bath because he stinks. Okay, well, I'm going to call an episode there. In between episodes, I'm going to do some exploring. Hopefully find some decent places. I do want to locate the Titan wrecks because there will be useful stuff within those. In between episodes as well, I'm going to do a little bit more experimentation with the new logistics system and the hovercraft builds and the best way to transport resources, etc. I've been playing around with it a little bit, and I don't know if I could show you in here. Yeah, I've been looking a bit more closely at the weights of items in their raw states, process states, etc. I've come to a couple of basic conclusions. When you get iron ore, it is best to turn it into ingots immediately because if you got 100 iron ore, it's 200 ingots. The weight of 200 ingots is less than 100 ore, so that's one way to reduce the weight. Things like blocks, when you're building blocks, like a steel block is 1 ton, one steel block, and it costs 10 plate. 1 plate is 1 kilogram, so 10 of those is 10 kilograms. So you keep them in the steel plate form until you need them. So 10 kilograms as opposed to 1 ton. It's a no-brainer. And it's the same with all the blocks. I've decided, the best way to do it is build your blocks when you need them. Keep the stuff in the raw form until that particular point. Yeah. But I'll go through that in more detail once I've done that, once I've worked out a few more. I think at some point we'll probably see somebody cut some kind of spreadsheet that has all this on it that we can look at and use. Really, is all that stuff has spoiled already? That's crazy. Okay. But yeah, I'm no doubt somebody will produce a spreadsheet with all this information on it at some point, which would be really useful. I'm not going to do that. That's not my forte. I'll look at some of the basic ways to save space and manage your weights. But yeah, that's what I've worked out so far. It's worth looking at raw state, process, and the different process states as well can make a difference. You would think carbon substrate, that costs stone, crushed stone and plant fibers to make. You would think the carbon substrate would be lighter than those two combined, but it isn't. It's actually better weight management to keep log or fiber exactly the same weight distribution depending on whichever one you've got. 20 fibers is the same weight as 1 log. Crushed stone, I think it was best to have it in the stone dust form. Yeah. But things like that. But you need, stone dust, plant fibers to make the carbon substrate. It's actually better weight management to keep it in the stone dust and plant fiber form until you need the carbon substrate. And again, if you're making carbon composite blocks, 100 kilograms for that costs 2 carbon substrate. 2 carbon substrates is 0.4 of a kilogram. No brainer. But yeah, we'll go through some of that. And I'm probably going to build my base from carbon composite blocks, simply because, for example, 25 crushed stone and 20 logs, I think the calculation was, will make 1,000 carbon composite blocks. I mean, that's incredibly cheap. They aren't very good for defense, but quite frankly, as long as you position cannon turrets or cannon towers around your base in good places, your base should never really get hit by a drone that comes in. Just my opinion, but we'll test it. We'll see how it goes. But until then, I'm Mondstad, and I'll see you in the next episode. Later.